You're standing on a hillside outside Jerusalem. The air smells of cedar smoke, roasting grain, and animal dung. Thousands of voices fill the valley below, and rising above all of it, white stone and gold. The year is approximately 30 AD. Jerusalem has a population of perhaps 60,000 to 80,000 people. Where you see Jaffa Gate today, tour buses, souvenir stalls, 2,000 years ago, this was the western entrance to one of the greatest cities on earth. You step through the gate. The noise hits you immediately. Commerce, animals, voices in a dozen languages. This city is a paradox. It belongs to Rome on paper, but its soul belongs entirely to something else. Herod the Great has been dead for 40 years, but this is still entirely his city. Herod ruled Judea as a Roman client king from 37 to 4 BC, ruthless, brilliant, deeply paranoid. He transformed a modest hilltop town into one of the Mediterranean world's most spectacular cities in 20 years. The Temple Mount platform alone covers 36 acres, roughly 35 football fields, built by filling in 2 valleys. His aqueducts carry fresh water from the Hebron Hills, 21 kilometers away. His roads, his walls, his vision. Herod died hated, but what he built outlasted everything, including the people who despised him. Now, walk to the Temple Mount. At the base of the southern wall, everything changes. These steps were built deliberately uneven to force a slow, reverent pace. You cannot rush this ascent. You pass through the Hulda gates into a dark tunnel carved under the platform. Then you emerge. The court of the Gentiles, vast, magnificent, overwhelming. The largest open religious space in the ancient world. Commerce and prayer happening simultaneously. Merchants shout their prices. Priests walk past in silence. Nobody finds this strange. The royal stoa colonnade along the south edge is where the city's intellectual life happens. Teachers, debates, prophets. A carved stone barrier, the soreg, marks the boundary non-Jews may not cross, on pain of death. Every dawn, without exception, the temple sacrifice begins. A lamb, incense, the Levite choir, 365 days a year. The Mishnah says the temple trumpet woke the entire city. The choir was audible from the Mount of Olives. This is what this city runs on. Not politics, not commerce, religion. Every waking hour, it shapes everything. But who actually governs this city? The answer is complicated and deeply uncomfortable for everyone involved. Rome governs Judea through a prefect based in Caesarea on the coast. Around 30 AD, that man is Pontius Pilate. The high priest controls the temple, the treasury, and the Sanhedrin, the Jewish Supreme Court. But the high priest is appointed and removed by Rome. It is religious authority on a leash. Below the prefect and the high priest, 4 major groups compete for the city and soul. The Pharisees believe the law must adapt to everyday life. They have the people's ear. The Sadducees control the temple and the Sanhedrin. They cooperate with Rome, and many despise them for it. And then there are the Zealots, who believe Rome must be expelled by force at any cost. Walk down from the Temple Mount into the lower city. The streets narrow immediately. The air thickens. Most people here are genuinely poor. Archaeologists found evidence of cramped housing and minimal possessions throughout the lower city. A typical home is 1 room, 4 by 5 meters, earth floor, 1 oil lamp, the entire family. Life expectancy for ordinary people is perhaps 35 to 40 years. Infant mortality is catastrophically high. Waterborne disease, dysentery, and intestinal parasites claim lives constantly. Clean water is a privilege, not a given. Jewish law requires regular ritual immersion. Archaeologists found over 300 mikvehs in 1st century Jerusalem. Faith and hygiene intertwined. The city has healers, but not in any modern sense. Herbal knowledge, prayer, occasionally Hellenistic medicine. Children learn in synagogue schools from age 5 or 6. Torah memorization first, writing comes later. Women are visible throughout the city, in markets, at the temple, in courtyard industries, in public life. This is ordinary Jerusalem, not the kings, not the priests, just the people who live here every single day. Cross to the upper city on the western hill. The same city, an entirely different world. Archaeologists excavated these mansions in the 1970s beneath the Jewish quarter. What they found astonished them. Mosaic floors, frescoed walls, imported Roman glass, stone bathtubs. These are the homes of the high priests' families. 2 blocks away, a family of 5 lives in one room on lentils and olive oil. This is Jerusalem in 30 AD, a city of profound inequality, held together by one shared idea. That idea, the covenant, the law, the temple, is what makes these 2 worlds one city. Let's talk about food. How do 60,000 people in a semi-arid hilltop city actually eat? The ordinary diet is bread, olive oil, legumes, and dried fruit. Meat is a luxury. Fish comes salted. Walk north on the Tyropolitan Valley Street. This is the commercial spine of Jerusalem. Every trade is here. At the northern end of this street, you reach the second wall. Beyond it, the city of the dead. Roman crucifixions happen here, outside the walls, at the road's edge, in full view of everyone entering the city. This is the daily reality of Roman occupation, not only soldiers and taxes, but also this, always this. Despite all of this, the poverty, the occupation, the danger, Jerusalem is also a city of profound beauty. But let's not skip the working city, the craftsmen, the builders, the people whose hands made all of this. Many of these artisans are servicing the temple. Stone carving, metalwork, linen weaving. The temple never stops consuming. Construction is constant. Herod's projects are technically complete, but a city of 60,000 always needs building and repair. At the bottom of the ladder, day laborers, at the city gate every morning hoping someone needs hands. This is the economic pressure that fills the zealot movement. Not ideology first, hunger first, then ideology. In 30 AD, this city is still whole, still alive, still extraordinary, but the clock is running. As Friday afternoon comes, the city changes. Commerce stops, shutters close. The Sabbath is not symbolic here, it is law. At sundown Friday, the temple choir sings the psalm of the day. The city enters a different time. 3 times a year, this rhythm breaks open completely. Passover, Shavuot, Sukkot, the pilgrimage festivals. The city explodes. Pilgrims arrive from Babylon, from Alexandria, from Rome itself, all speaking different languages, all coming to the same place. During Passover, the Romans double their garrison. Crowds and nationalism and religion are a dangerous combination they know well. During Passover, there are arrests. During Passover, historically, there are also executions. The Romans manage the festival carefully. Every year, the pressure builds. Every Passover, the city is a pressure vessel, and the valve grows smaller. For 36 years after 30 AD, this city continues, growing, straining, building, and slowly, inexorably, breaking. In 66 AD, the breaking point arrives. A Roman procurator raids the temple treasury. The city ignites. The city divides. 3 Jewish factions fight each other inside the walls. Rome watches and prepares outside. In 70 AD, Titus arrives with 4 Roman legions, perhaps 60,000 soldiers. They encircle the city completely. Josephus describes the famine inside in terms that are almost impossible to read. People dying in the streets. In August of 70 AD, the temple burns. Josephus writes a soldier throws a torch against orders, the fire visible for miles. The screaming, Josephus writes, audible across the surrounding hills and valleys. Josephus estimates over 1 million dead. Modern historians debate this figure. Even conservative estimates are devastating. The temple vessels are taken to Rome. In 81 AD, Titus builds his arch, the menorah carved in stone. In 135 AD, after a second revolt, Rome renames the city Aelia Capitolina. The name Jerusalem is banned, but the stones don't disappear. They sink under new construction. They wait in the earth for 2,000 years. In 1968, archaeologist Nachman Avigad excavates the Jewish quarter. He finds the burnt house, exactly as Josephus described. The city Herod built in 30 AD no longer exists above ground, but it exists completely beneath it. Over 300 mikvahs, hundreds of ossuaries with names carved on them, real people, real lives, survived in stone. The baker, the water carrier, the child in the courtyard, they all had names. We'll never know them. Where you see the Western Wall today, those are Herod's stones, the last surviving wall of the temple platform. Today, you can walk these hills. The stones beneath your feet in the old city are sometimes those same stones. The bedrock is unchanged. The topography is unchanged. The valleys and hills that shaped this city still shape it. Jerusalem in 30 AD was a city of profound contradiction, sacred and violent, beautiful and squalid, magnificent and desperate. Home to the most magnificent building in the Roman world and to thousands slowly dying of poverty and disease. This city taught the world something it keeps having to relearn. Sacred things are fragile. Civilization is not permanent. What the baker knew, what the water carrier knew, what the child in the courtyard was starting to understand. That life was worth knowing. That city was worth seeing. That is why we come here. If this gave you a window into Jerusalem as it truly was, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. Which city do you want us to visit next? Rome? Constantinople? Alexandria? We read every comment. We are grateful you're here. And as always, we'll see you in Before the Map.